Yeah, getting back into things. Yeah, getting back into things. I hear my echo here. It's just like turn this up more. I hear my echo here. It's just like turn this up. Just so I don't have to talk so loudly. All right. Start up the game now. Why haven't you pulled off shield mode? Here we go. Thing wasn't switching off, so I had to manually do it. Quite a bit I want to like play around in this, but unless I want to get sleep, there's not gonna be too much time tonight. Putting out little announcements and stuff. Or at least one in my Discord, I don't. Right. Um, but I guess just because like a lot of times I'll probably play this offline. Massive income. Are you going to tell me you're going to be... Yeah, flight duration, 22 minutes. Build. Yeah, I'm going to like purposely... but I do want to like fly it. I'll have to see something about what if you don't fly anything at all? Like what? So yeah, that was a distraction by just popping in here to show something. So I got a company, Raccoon Air, as you see, company there, company name. I called it Raccoon Air. I bought a helicopter, which is the Gumball Cabrel. And I was going to mention that this game is certainly like just nice, relaxing game to kind of play like off stream. So I may like just progress a bunch off stream and then probably try to catch people up as much as like I would like to. I also have fun like showing like where I got, but like I it does make me wonder though, like how much others even are interested than me. Just it's one of those things you like want to show off stuff, but like it, in a way that like becomes like a prideful thing. And it's yeah, like if it's not really interesting for others, then like, and I don't want to just want to do I don't know where I'm getting at. Yeah, I don't want to like do something that like may not. That's the thing, is like I don't know if, because that's on me. I'm sorry. I'm just going in circles in my head right now. Trying to like say something, but like I'm just like struggling on what I'm like, how to say it, or what I'm trying to say. I'm just probably becoming even more less interesting. It's one of those things that like I had like all this like thought in my head of what I was going to say earlier, and then now I'm just like messed up all over the place trying to what I'm like wanting to say. But so it did some passive income pay. What does that mean? Oh, is it going to like not bill? I think this is because of the insurance thing that I have on it. Yeah, insurance bill. Better not be like, I notice it's like using real-time date. It's not better not be a thing that like, oh, you don't play this for a week, come back, and then suddenly you lose like all your money. Like, I don't like, or what really loses my interest in games is when it's a game that ends up becoming a job to play. to like keep and maintain. It's like I want to just hop on and play when I have time or want to. And more importantly with that than just when I just want to is so it doesn't become like an actual distraction pulling me away from stuff that I priority need to do. Like several conversations trying to think, like thought in my head here. Sorry, we're like pausing at times. There's my aircraft. Okay, so yeah, did my company, so already like much more things that like I did like off stream. If anyone's possibly in chat. And let's show it. Yeah, there. I bought a helicopter, which you like see right there. It costed like 23, like it was like 20 something 23,000 CR. I think the CR, I think it's standing for credentials, which doesn't make sense. Like, you buy it with currency, like money. Aren't we using money? Not like, or is credentials a fancy word saying, yeah, money earned? I did one mission with it and earned like quite a bit. But then the maintenance why it's like it was like 10, actually like over 11,000, because the landing gear, I really don't think I landed that hard with, like I didn't like, I don't remember doing any threatening damage to it. And it was like already half, like its condition or whatnot. Yeah, it's tear. It was like halfway, or it was like, it was, I was seeing something that like its condition was like, I forget what it worded, but it sounded like, it seemed like it was like, oh, I guess I need to replace it. Because it was like, but then like I realized that there's like that bar thing and it was like halfway of it. So I don't know, like, well, so it makes me like, I feel like I need to do like another, just to do another mission to see like, does landing gear just be that fragile? And then like, but if I don't have to do those crazy amount of payments, like buy like a 10,000 cost landing gear. But I also don't have insurance right now that would save it from crashing it. And here's a big thing that, like, kind of moving on to my plan, which I'm wasting already a lot of time just sitting here talking about stuff. So other than summer, fall and winter, and then spring, there's a hot spot right here. Now, I have uncovered like spots here, so I am actually moving missions down, trying to get all the way down here. And there's actually a mission that I can get that would actually just speed up even like bothering with doing a bunch of missions. Like I did a few, like I had one that finally I could do that one passenger one, transport all the way down to like here, and that's what I took. And so I traveled down to here, but yeah, it just trying to get one mission at a time. For one, like you gotta find a mission. Like here's this guy that now can like unlock down to that. But instead of just doing one little mission at a time, there's this. A search and rescue for the planes, or airplanes. And I need certain credentials. To get the credentials, or certification, specialization, that's what it is. It's a search and rescue. Yeah, search and rescue. I need to perform 6 more landings. And then a tail whale endorsement, which... So, like, I need to, like, just find, yeah, which it's very cheap, actually, for that. And... Oh, and here's, so to do your company stuff, go to like freelancer, and depending what aircraft you bought and where you placed them, my helicopter's like up here right now, because they decided to do like, I guess, a mission up there for some reason, but should've, actually it doesn't matter like that, it's like where this is, because it's a helicopter that works for like these little, and it says it get like that much or so, but it's like I got then like 20,000, like 24,000 from it, and then I had to spend like half of it on maintenance stuff. So hopefully I'm not going to have to keep like doing that, otherwise. But then again, 10,000 still like pretty good for like a short, like little 30-minute flight thing. It's just what's annoying is everything says aircraft needed, because apparently there's always like no aircraft where yeah, I don't know. But I only have one aircraft, and I just most use come. What I realize is kind of figured, so like, but like I have like funny ideas to just call everything like raccoon something. that yeah, each company is going to be like its own name or so. But it's what I've been also doing, just like today, I've been going through the training stuff, even though most of the stuff I already basically knew from all like other simulators and stuff. But I figured to just go through these anyway, just so like it registers that like I done the training. And hey, you can always like, there's probably like some stuff that like I either forgot or just refreshed on, or didn't know exact. Like now I know like the very specific speed that they have you land the Cessna at its angle and stuff. And apparently it's find that like it's better to use just 20-degree flaps or so, I think. And I even learned just like the simple like relearned. I think I even learned this in the older, like just the previous Microsoft Flight Simulator on just using the timer. What I haven't gone through is all this, and I already climbed and descended and turned, not being able to see out the window other than like just complete fog. And yeah, it's not like any different really. Like it's just like you gotta focus on the instruments and not worry about not seeing anything out the window, because it, especially when you're like you're descending and stuff, like you're like in your mind like, ain't I going to crash into the ground some point or something? Like you have this feeling like you're just going to crash if you're like going down, because you don't see the ground, you don't know where it's going to come. But okay, let's look at the speed control. And each of these are like all like a few minutes. That shouldn't, like, I should be able to get through these.
Sure, nothing bad will happen.
Loaded. And because my throttle's
cruising at 100 knots, maintaining our heading and altitude. Let's look at how we deal with speed change.
So because of my throttle is like attached to my stick throttle here, technically not a throttle, but acting as one. The game's set up that like whatever position it's at, it's like automatic, like instantly set to that. So if not set to the speed that it's already
at 100 knots, maintaining our heading and altitude. Let's look at how we deal with speed changes when flying on instruments. When slowing down, the wings produce less lift. To counter this, you'll need to progressively raise the nose in order to maintain altitude. Give it a try. Reduce power and bring the speed back to 70 knots.
So yeah.
Remember to adjust the elevator trim so that you don't have to keep putting any pressure on the controls.
Yeah, but then you gotta like fight the little silly like.
Good. Now set power to maintain 70 knots. Notice how the nose needs to be a little higher than before to make up for the loss of airspeed. Use the elevator trim to adjust pitch to the new sped and maintain 70 knots for a bit.
Kind of difficult though.
Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude.
Well, and you lower. Come on, lower.
Great, now increase power to get your speed back up to 100 knots.
Okay. Also been turning a lot. That's the hard thing of like getting like A's and stuff on
Notice
this.
how you need to trim nose down to avoid climbing.
Getting A's on these training stuff and stuff is you gotta be so
Keep it steady on heading 350.
strictly
That's it. Now
precise.
stabilize at 100 knots. You wandered off the heading.
Yeah, because I'm struggling here.
Good. Now we'll take flap settings into account. Flaps give a boost in lift, which you'll need to control in order to maintain our altitude. They also add drag, making us slow down more quickly, so be careful not to get too slow.
Guess I'm
Reduce
not going to be
power
able
and
to
slow
talk
us
much.
down to 60 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. Good. Now extend the flaps to 10 degrees. Now set flaps at 20 degrees. You need to be able to control altitude while adjusting speed. With the extra drag, start adding power so you don't drop below your target airspeed of 60 knots. Try to maintain 4,000 feet altitude. Now stabilize at 60 knots and trim for level flight.
You are talking so fast, like all over the place. I'm turning a little bit as well. It's basically doing all the same stuff, but now like
Great job.
not seeing out the window.
Next we'll look at navigating on instruments alone.
Okay, now that I can speak, you have to be so precise with speed and like the numbers that like, well, I got an A despite what I did there. Like, it's so random on like when it on some of the things. Like I get like best I could do is like a B. And I'm not trying to like waste time to like retry them. So many, like a few of them I just retried anyway, because certainly wanted to, like I think like especially like on like a landing one, I wanted to just know that I could like land properly and smoothly. Yeah, next training. But What was that? What was I going to also say? Can't remember now. Yeah, I'm hopefully trying to just like breeze through these. And get to like the career stuff.
Now that you have the basics of flying the aircraft on instruments, let's look at navigation. There is a worldwide network of radio beacons that pilots use to find their way when flying IFR. The most common beacon is the VOR. I've tuned the Sunberg VOR into your NAV radio, which we're going to fly toward. To get there, we'll use the course deviation indicator, CDI. That's the green arrow and bar on the HSI. I've set the CDI for a course of 170. That means we want to arrive at the VOR on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. If the bar is to the left of center, we need to fly to the left to recapture our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle.
What's the CDI? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, the thing on the middle compass right there. This is where, like big thing I was gonna say is like, or talk about, speed up time.
Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
Here it comes. Oh, but yeah, just to show. So, sim speed. Oh, that's it. There, sim rate. Increase, decrease. I set it on my stick buttons. Also, I got like an active pause on, or a pause on the other button. Toggle active pause there. Yeah, that's like, if I ever need to like just pause everything to like set up like autopilot. So it's like seeing someone that was like using this and were like, oh, I wished I known that this game had this like like the other simulators, and like, probably should have known like with that, but then again like the game never said that it had it. I don't know. But so you can pause and like speed up and slow down. However, as you know, is like there's no indication on what speed that is set to, so you kind of like have to just feel and guess, or just remember counting exactly how many you went up or how many you went down. Like I counted 2. I was just going to go up 2 and then go back down 2. And I think there's like a max limit, of course, so you can't just sit there and like do it 20 times. Like I think it only goes like, I think 6 as far as like I can tell that it goes up to when I like switch it back down. But yeah, so with that, you can do those big long hours of flight and not skip. So passed it. Because I passed like the spot where he was telling me to turn it. Losing altitude because of
Great.
turning.
Now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the VOR.
It's nice how you could like just about see the world through the screen. Gonna take some like finessing. Basically, I should just like look down and go like this, because it doesn't matter if I look outside the window right now.
We're getting close to the VOR now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a VOR, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple miles.
Because I'm flying over the airport. Which, let me just do a pause. Because there's the autopilot in this plane. It's these buttons. I do have like a master button like hooked on. Thought I like set like some few other buttons, but like I don't know. Well, it's like other things that like sometimes like half the key bindings I don't know if they even like got them working in the game. And then or they're not setting for something. Because like the helicopter, like the Airbus helicopter, the trimming does not work at all. Even though it's supposed to have trim. This does not work. But but yeah, that is the thing. Like I will say on one of the navigation training ones where it was just fly to airport that was like 8 minutes of, like the flight was like some like 8-minute long thing. I did speed up time on that, and so it's like I, even though the training was like not to like did not say anything about like the autopilot stuff or none of the training things like even say about like doing the autopilot stuff here. But hey, if you want me to hold steady going some long distance, it's like, what pilot wouldn't just use this? and I actually learned how to like neatly use, like you can even set your altitudes after you set like the altitude hold. I think I can set it on and create like a bar thing there, but not worrying about it anyway. VVR, I think that's I was thinking of it because like just to like hold the heading very well would make it easy to use that right now. But also in a way this is training to fly the plane without looking out the window.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
What did I do wrong anyway? Oh, it's probably Because once again, like, I probably didn't precisely turn right at the exact time. Like, sometimes some of the that's what I was gonna say. Some of the training things are so strict that you're just a few values off, and then you get a B. And like, I'm not gonna retry enough until I hit their very super close tolerant condition to get the A. So it's like, just give me a B. I'm just gonna move on. And yeah, there we go. Got a B on that one because I didn't turn so perfectly for you. Like, I did weave back and forth, and it's like, sure, but I don't think that's going to like cause any issues doing that in like real flights and stuff. So yeah, next training. Simply because I didn't turn early enough, and so I overshot it, and then I had to like correct it, and I kept like overcorrecting a few directions because I was turning too sharply.
The VOR system is a classic for navigating via instruments, but modern technology has opened the door for new navigation tools. Our flight plan is made of multiple GPS waypoints. We can use those to guide us when we can't count on visibility. For this lesson, we're going to follow a similar trajectory as in the VOR tutorial, flying over Sumburg Airport while maintaining an altitude of 4,000 feet. The system looks very similar to the VOR on the avionics. We'll use the CDI. That's the pink arrow and bar on the HSI. Looking at our flight plan, we can see that we're supposed to arrive at the waypoint on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. We've deviated on purpose so that you can see how to catch up to your intended trajectory. Just like with VOR, the gap between the bar and the CDI arrow shows us the direction that we need to head towards to catch up to our course. The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
Now I turned too soon. Told me to turn left, and I think I turned too soon on you. Because I could see that going in those boxes. And hey, just like those boxes in the air, and I'm like, if this is realistic, and it makes sense to like just have those always in the air. In a way, it's nuts. I guess it hasn't been ever cheating, really, because you could have this in your GPS.
Great. Now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the waypoint.
Oh, and I could do better for that. Like, turn this on. Altitude hold. Heading quickly. Heading there. You know what? I should press that and then like right click is to like set like. So see, I could fly with autopilot and just set little buttons and stuff. Like I could do a little higher altitude. Altitude on. Yeah, it's on. Aren't you going up? Which GPS keep TDI centered? I believe we're going like over that. I was doing that so I could just easily speed up time. I'm veering off a little bit.
We're getting close to the waypoint now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a GPS waypoint, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple of miles.
A couple of miles. Hey, bro, you. Oh yeah. Continue on the same. Yeah, I'm like, if you want my precise flying, well, I'm going to use an autopilot to like precisely fly. Look at that. Look how steady I
More
am.
practice may be a good idea.
Wow. He thinks I need a bit more practice when it was the plane itself flying. You saying that the autopilot needs more practice? Hey, Bravia, how are you doing? Hi, Ice Wolf. Wow, a C? Seriously? Well, at least pass, but like, my goodness. You see something, like how many... Yeah, this is like 5 minutes. Yeah. I'm curious to just retry this. Like, I'm gonna like really speed through them and see if I could just mechanically wise hit these very like much better now that I know that to do.
Now that you have the basics of flying the aircraft on instruments,
By simply-
let's look at navigation. There is a worldwide network of radio beacons that pilots use to find their way when flying IFR. The most common beacon is the VOR. I've tuned the Sunberg VOR into your NAV radio, which we're going to fly toward. To get there, we'll use the course deviation indicator, CDI. That's the green arrow and bar on the HSI. I've set the CDI for a course of 170. That means we want to arrive at the VOR on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. If the bar is to the left of center, we need to fly to the left to recapture our course. The bar is currently
Yeah,
over
see,
to the
I
right,
pressed
so
the
keep
button.
flying on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
170. Is that perfect enough for you?
Now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the VOR.
Now, if you say that I need a bit more training again, like with this, then I don't know what to tell you, man. You're never happy then. I'm doing pretty well, especially a lot better than like a few days ago. I was like extremely sick for some reason. I gave the computer flight control. Yeah.
We're getting close to the VOR now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a VOR, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple miles. Well done, but there's room for improvement.
I was just like speeding it to like to the end, and what do you know? He said, "Well done, but there could still be improvement." What improvement? I've perfectly like held straight because the plane was just that perfectly straight. Oh, you're in the tail end of the flu. Yeah, like either like COVID or a flu or something like. And the reason why like because of course there's like plenty of other stuff to get sick from than just COVID. It's just COVID's like always like for like past 4 years been like the big thing, worrying thing. Even though it's not the deadliest thing really. Not that it like hasn't like not that it hasn't like has killed people. Strain that my vaccine did. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's like it's really not sure to like take those vaccines anymore. Like it's better to like get like build up like immune system or just try to do what you can to be careful to not get the flu. And see, I still got like B and just to get this from off of a C, let's retry this. Maybe it's because I'm turning on the autopilot that it's like recognizing that. I don't know.
The VOR system is a classic for navigating via instruments, but modern technology has opened the door for new navigation tools. Our flight plan is made of multiple GPS waypoints. We can use those to guide us when we can't count on visibility. For this lesson, we're going to follow a similar trajectory as in the VOR tutorial, flying over Sumburg Airport while maintaining an altitude of 4,000 feet. The system looks very similar to the VOR on the avionics. We'll use the CDI. That's the pink arrow and bar on the HSI. Looking at our flight plan, we can see that we're supposed to arrive at the waypoint on a heading of 170. The CDI shows us if we are on our selected course. We've deviated on purpose so that you can see how to catch up to your intended trajectory. Just like with VOR, the gap between the bar and the CDI arrow shows us the direction that we need to head towards to catch
I
up to
sped
our
up
course.
time, so I'm like
The bar is currently over to the right, so keep flying on this heading and wait for the CDI
I'm
bar to
ahead
start
of
moving
where he's
towards the middle.
talking.
Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
I honestly think that the C is. Well, did you try this one?
CDI bar centered, and it'll take us to the waypoint.
Like, for some reason, are they like just so strict on like this training mission that you have to be every perfect value thing? It feels like a retro game, like old game going through like these squares. That's why I like always keep thinking like when I like noticed this on like either their stream or notice them is like if it feels like Star Fox, isn't it? Like we're going through like old Star Fox game. slowly speeding up time so I can just get through this faster. Even if this hurts my score, I just wanted to try it one more time. Oh, you gotta keep, keep in
We're
sync.
getting close to the waypoint now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a GPS waypoint, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple of miles.
I think I see why. You gotta be like perfectly centered, and it's like extremely narrow.
I think a bit
thing.
more practice may be a good idea.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I have like an idea to try one more time if it is a C. This is exactly the thing like I didn't want to like waste too much time messing about on. Yeah, see it like it's because they want you to be perfectly centered in those for like a long duration. So I see why it's just it's like one of those things. It's like what are we even practicing on? Oh, it's gonna always be a C? No matter like what you do?
The VOR system is a classic for navigating via instruments, but modern technology has opened the door for new navigation tools.
I am just curious about like this one more time on something, I guess.
To guide us when we can't count on visibility. For this lesson,
I do like
to follow a similar
this map here, like does
flying over Sumburg Airport while maintaining an altitude of 4,000 feet.
because
The
I
system
looked
looks
away
very
at.
similar to the VOR on the avionics. We'll use the CDI. That's the pink arrow and bar on the HSI. Looking at our flight plan, we can see that we're supposed to arrive at the waypoint on a heading of 170.
Get back
The
down
CDI
to.
shows us if we are on our selected course. We've deviated on purpose.
I
so
do
you
want
can
to
see
get
how
back
catch
to
up
like
your intended
career
trajectory.
things. I want to
Just like with VOR,
get through like the
gap between
rest of
bar
the
and
training
CDI
things that
arrow
I
shows us
have,
the direction that we need to head towards to catch up to our course.
just so I
The bar is
at
currently
least
over to
feel
the right,
accomplished
so
on
keep
that.
flying
Or
on this heading and wait for the CDI bar to start moving towards the middle. Here it comes. Now make a left turn onto heading 170.
wait forward to. 170. Yeah, let's see on if I can get like.
Great.
Just
now keep the CDI bar centered and it'll take us to the waypoint.
yeah, just to like get it so like it highlights, keep CDI centered. So let's try to find that center. I'm going to visually go off of the boxes here. That was like my plan. Because I saw it highlighted for a moment. And it's certainly must be like right on like 4,000. Yeah, where is... yeah, at this rate, yeah. I don't see any center. Like, how's one suspect to even like... How do they intend you to even like get anything more than a C on this one? So yeah, I'm not gonna bother with this. I just wanted to try one more time. Because I thought I like found it before, but like yeah, I'm not seeing it now. Yeah. Okay, speed up time, I don't care. Just get over with this. Zoom. Oh. Oh, is the center like below it?
We're getting close
I
to the
don't know.
waypoint now. The CDI indications might become erratic or disappear when reaching a GPS waypoint, but this is normal. Keep flying straight ahead on heading 170 for a couple of miles. You were way off on altitude holding. I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't get it. You try to hold altitude manually while time itself is 4 times faster. So yeah, got basically like even less score. Hopefully that doesn't mean like it replaces my score, but then again, like I already got I always kept getting a C. So this one's supposedly 6 minutes, but like I could probably do it in like 3 minutes if I speed up time. But yeah, each of these are like only a few minutes and stuff. Like I think the longest ones I saw were like the long like navigating ones. That one was like that. There was one I think like or 10 minutes long or something. I'm not sure
So now
what.
you've got the basics of flying on instruments. Now we need to get back on the ground.
Oh,
The most common landing aid is the Instrument Landing System, or ILS for short. An ILS uses 2 directional radio signals, one for lateral guidance called a localizer and the other for vertical guidance called the glide slope. The localizer provides lateral guidance, which directs you onto the runway centerline.
Oh
The
yeah.
glide slope provides the intended descent angle onto the runway. The localizer is displayed with the CDI, much like in the VOR lesson. Keep flying on a heading of 210 at
Turn down just
1,500
'cause-
feet and we'll watch for the localizer to come alive. The localizer is moving now. Make a gentle turn to the right, intercepting the localizer and keeping the CDI in the middle.
Gentle turn as you mean turn like 20 degrees so I don't miss it.
Good. Now keep the localizer bar centered and maintain 1,500 feet. The glide slope is displayed next to the altimeter on your PFD. If the green glide slope diamond is above center, you are below the glide path. We always start out below the glide slope, as we want to intercept the localizer first. We'll wait for the glide slope to start moving. Try to maintain 1,500 feet until we intercept the glide slope.
Which means I need a
To stay
low.
at 1,500 feet until reaching the glide slope. Here comes the glide slope. Maintain 1,500 feet until it almost reaches the center.
Where is talk? I didn't see where he points this out. Like, what are you talking about? I went a little too low. Was he talking about that little green diamond on the right? Is that what that is?
Here it comes. Now reduce power a little and start to descend, using the VSI to aim for 500 feet per minute.
Okay, it must be that green diamond on the right.
Keep both the localizer and glide slope indications centered all the way down to the ground. Reduce speed and set flaps as needed as you make your way down the ILS.
Am I too much to the right or to the left? Like I'm confused. Like I could see the runway over there. But like the thing is saying I'm too far to the right, which doesn't make sense. At that rate, like and I haven't been like watching my. I need to catch up to the. The altitude one. Here we go. You know what? You didn't say anything about slowing down and stuff, so I'm going to do it anyway.
We're approaching the runway. This approach has an offset, meaning that the localizer and runway aren't lined up together exactly. Focus on following the ILS for now. We'll transition to a visual landing once we're closer to touchdown. Make only small corrections and remember that each will be more critical as we approach touchdown.
Oh, I guess it was meant that you do follow it anyway, even though visually, yes, I could tell that I was like completely offset from it. We'll come back down.
Great, now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
I saw the runway like the whole way basically, because hey, in the primary flight screen thing, I forget like what they exactly call it, something like that. And to land, you just flare out like, which that was the thing, like why it helped, like actually to look at the landing stuff. You put the nose like kind of like to the top there, and it's like there got like nice smooth landing.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Of course, you always say that. You're not easy to please. And it's probably because like I was like kind of like looking at the runway and like, well, obviously I need to go like here to line up to it. But I got the idea. And see, now it's like 12 minutes, but hey, we can cut it down even like, probably cut it to half by like speeding up some time. He's an office guy, yeah. But yeah, that's what you need to remember is when the bar is like to a certain side, that means you need to turn that direction to line it back up. That's what I recall and how those things work. And like I was saying earlier, like I may play a bunch on this game without streaming, but so when I like come back on and off, like if I come back on and off on streaming, I'll like probably just try to catch up on like on things. And I certainly figured to like stream like a lot some of these training things, because if anyone's like interested in this, like might be learning something as I'm just doing these training lessons. Oh, that's right.
It's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at
have my
5,000
throttle
feet
down.
following a GPS route toward Sunberg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS, as shown in magenta on your CDI, maintaining 5,000 feet and 110 knots. Okay, still maintaining the GPS course, take us down to 3,500 feet, keeping 110 knots airspeed.
That this was like the big test thing, wasn't it? Yeah, IFR test. Usually they didn't have a person like say anything to you. Okay, I need to speed up some. There we go. Speed up a bit more. No. Push more trim up if need be. Okay, speed up a little time. Just does risk on faster I go, like if I have to do manual controls, faster time I put up, the more likely I'm just going to fumble myself. So oh, you don't like watching the challenges? Nice. Yeah, and the challenges I like, and what again, like what like interests me in the game was like the helicopter stuff, and then the fact that they did like the whole career mode with missions.
Next, keep us at 3,500 feet and make a left turn onto heading 060.
It's okay, 060. Okay. Won't maintain, which I'm doing. Need
Keep us at 3,500 feet.
yeah, I'm doing it.
All right, let's throw some other things your way. Please bring the speed back to 70 knots.
So I'm gonna pull trim back just to. One.
All right, now keep us at 3,500 feet, 70 knots, and turn us to the right onto heading 225.
225. There's a bunch of kind of controls that I have to deal with. Power, altitudes, angle, your roll and such. All tricky stuff. So like I'm having to focus on about as tricky of different things that you gotta deal with on helicopters, but helicopters are like much more finicky. Or at least like harder to not, you know what, I went too high up.
Okay, now get us back to 110 knots.
Okay. Does anyone have happiness that I can hear? Well, sorry, I am not able to just give you happiness. One. You know what, I should have just went full throttle and go down. Sometimes I feel like I have to like force it. Like, come on, go down. Stop it.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Oh, of course. Yeah, 3 dimensions to an attitude. Yeah. I was so close to an A. Wow. Maintain the GPS course. All because I didn't maintain the GPS. Oh my goodness. Really? I almost wanna, like, I feel like I want to try that again just to get like an... Like, look how close that is to an A. Let's just maintain GPS. Let's try that again just to see if we get an A. Then
All
feel
right,
like
it's time to put what you've learned into practice. We're at 5,000 feet following a GPS route toward Sumburg. I'll ask you to perform some handling tasks to test your IFR flying skills. Follow the GPS, as shown in magenta on your CDI, maintaining 5,000 feet and 110 knots. Okay, still maintaining the GPS course, take us down to 3,500 feet, keeping 110 knots airspeed.
Probably because I didn't maintain the 110 knots. I was struggling to get it like to that. But now I'm at 110 knots. Oh, I think I turned a lot when I was like dealing with like the speed. I'm turning a bit. So many things you have to like look at. Why? I don't know. This is tricky. Because like I don't know if it wants me, if I need to like turn left or if I like veer it off too much or. Like what heading did I need to like stick on?
Next, keep us at 3,500 feet and make a left turn onto heading 060.
Heading, okay.
Alright, let's throw some other things your way. Please bring the speed back to 70 knots.
Easy enough. You just pull back and lift up your nose to not lose altitude, and then you lose speed. There you go.
Alright, now keep us at 3,500 feet, 70 knots, and turn us to the right onto heading 225.
I have to keep holding 70. Yeah, I'm going to assume so. Turn ooh. Yeah, I'm not worrying about the speed at
Watch
the moment.
speed, we want 70 knots.
Oh, you do want 70 knots. Okay, you didn't tell me.
You need to work on your speed control.
Oh my goodness, you didn't tell me. Oh, I was like, starting to ignore it because you better not like failed me for not getting.
Keep us at 3,500 feet. Okay, now get us back to 110 knots. You didn't hold your altitude accurately enough.
Oh my goodness. You know, in this case, I'm not going to even care if I don't get an A now. That's just unfortunate. I did everything else, and then like I failed one thing, and I was like inches away from getting an A. That's so annoying. Oh, now I'm too high. It's not fun to just like try to like do this over and over to just hit their very exact crazy
Wow, great job.
things that
The
like
ability to fly IFR accurately and safely opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Remember, you can come back and repeat this test anytime you like if you want to brush up on your skills.
like it gets to a point where I don't even know if real pilots even bother to that level of precise values. Oh, I guess I did get an A despite him. I guess I hit like a little off on a few of the things. I was assuming I was going to get an A because he was like, oh, you didn't maintain this. It's like, well, thanks, man. I guess I'm a terrible flyer now. So yeah, we got an A now on that one. This one's impossible to get other than a C apparently, and I'm not going to bother trying to get those as B's. I was kind of wondering on like redoing this one just to like retry like I want to see. This one's short enough to like, there's something I want to retry on this just to like kind of see if I do understand how to like line up. So like ignoring what the thing will look
so now
like.
You've got the basics of flying on instruments. Now we need to get back on the ground. The most common landing aid is the Instrument Landing System, or ILS for short. An ILS uses two directional radio signals, one
And you
for
can see it on the
lateral
right
guidance
map,
called the localizer, and the other
right
for
there.
vertical guidance called the glide slope. The localizer provides lateral guidance, which directs you onto the runway centerline. The glide slope provides the intended descent angle onto the runway. The localizer is displayed with the CDI, much like in the VOR lesson. Keep flying on a heading of 210 at 1,500 feet and we'll watch for the localizer to come alive. The localizer is moving now. Make a gentle turn to the right, intercepting the localizer and keeping the CDI in the middle. Good. Now keep the localizer bar centered and maintain 1,500 feet. The glide slope is displayed next to the altimeter on your PFD. If the green glide slope diamond is above center, you are below the glide path. We always start out below the glide slope, as we want to intercept the localizer first. We'll wait for the glide slope to start moving.
Yeah, so the goal is to keep that green line centered. That's what I was like, in a way, want to practice on. So like, I'm gonna like focus more on this thing.
Here comes the glide slope. Maintain 1,500 feet until it almost reaches the center.
And you know what? I could probably land in this view as well.
Here it comes. Now reduce power a little and start to descend, using the VSI to aim for 500 feet per minute.
That's like, there's a lot of speed.
Keep both the localizer and glide slope indications centered all the way down to the ground. Reduce speed and set flaps as needed as you make your way down the ILS.
Oh, he does mention flaps, reduce speed, and I go a little left. Why am I still, you know what? Let's maintain some altitude because I'm like below the green thing. Below it. Oh, I need to speed up. I want to stay around like 70. Like about 65 is where like it tells you to like land on. Out here. Yeah, see, it's like, it's once again like a big juggling act. You're just juggling a bunch of things. Like I'm trying to juggle my roll to keep me lined in that, and then juggling my descent by pitching up and down, and then my speed all at the same time. And pitching up and down affects my speed, and affecting my speed affects my pitching up and down. So it's all kind of like chaotic. And
We're approaching the runway.
I see I'm like going
This
right
approach
toward.
has an offset, meaning that the localizer and runway aren't lined up together exactly. Focus on following the ILS for now. We'll transition to a visual landing once we're closer to touchdown. Make only small corrections and remember that each will be more critical as we approach touchdown.
Catch up to it. So it's
500.
oh, there's my 500 warning. Ooh, I need to speed up if I need to like. Oop, that's too much speed up. It's like I always notice like this. It's very easy to like to catch up speed on this thing. I guess that does have like some power to it. If it's lightweight or what.
Great. Now is a good time to transition from flying on instruments to using visual cues to complete the landing. Get us down onto the runway and then come to a smooth stop.
I'm gonna still stare at the screen because it's like so exactly like the runway. I kind of dropped a little too much though for it gets very finicky to like follow it anyway as you see that glide slope, because idle and pitch up for it's a little off an angle, but there we go. Okay, brake.
Wow, great job.
Wow,
Great work. Next we will combine what you've learned into an IFR test.
Oh, you didn't have anything bad to say of me? Well, then I got an A. Yeah, I just wanted to retry that. Well, I could then do that and get like an A. It's like, but then this is just going to be stuck as a C, so. Wait, didn't I? Isn't that the one that I just did? That I. You're right, he has. Yeah, this is the one that I just did that got like an A. I think this was the one that like I got turned like very precisely onto it and just like, no. So yeah, I wanted to get like through those. Like obviously these are the all the basics of like flying a plane. And then basics of like with runway stuff, landing and taking off, going to doing the pattern around the thing, and it would take like a few hours to like go through showing them all. So but let's see if we can get through these. And there's all this glide. And it's like, I want to just get through them all and then get back to the career stuff. But like, I also want to do some career stuff tonight. And I just don't have time to do all this stuff at once. especially with me spinning any amount of minutes every each thing or so. I don't know. But this is gonna like be 2 minutes. Let's see if we can get through like all the bush pilot stuff. Short field takeoff, so I guess you do this with like a light powered plane. Well, that's what I was gonna say, like certain planes are. Well, this is like the fun thing with it looks kind of interesting. Is played with the planes that can land in water in the other one. You clip the surprise A. Yeah, and it was like that was the one. Like I was saying that he was saying I was like doing all these mistakes and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, here, have an A." Thanks for that clip.
Now it's time for something more wild and challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff. Not all runways are long, flat, and clear of debris. Let's try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel, as you lose some steering control. This runway is shorter than one you'd find at a larger airport, so we need to modify the takeoff technique to get off the ground and climb as quickly as possible. First, apply the brakes and hold them so that we don't roll forward until we're ready to go.
What is with the wind going on? What is going? Is that the wind? Or what? The propellers? I was gonna say, can't do this in VR. Wow. Unless you could physically spin your head in a circle like that. Yeah, I was gonna point out she's talking with like a crooked mouth or so, which. Not to say that's like unrealistic or weird, but like just looks so uncanny with that kind of face. With like, that's the problem with like when you try to like go realistic on things and then you just don't quite do it. And it's just like things look uncanny. Okay. Yes. So what are we doing? Oh, holding brakes in full power. And release brakes.
Excellent. The engine instruments are all in the green. Now release the brakes and we'll get going.
Wait a
Rotate at
minute.
40 knots.
I think I just realized something that hasn't been a notice all this time because I never thought it would do this kind of thing. So I have pedal brakes like on my pedals, they have like 3 axes and 2 like basically are like pedals. Apparently it doesn't like visually show, but I think I've noticed something strange. You know, I wonder if that's like been oddly how I'm just. I think I've been having like basically half brakes on all the time when my foot's always lifted up off the brakes because that's how the values are just in this game. So, because that's what I just noticed right there when I was like trying to move forward. I put my brakes halfway, then they felt completely off. Like the brakes were completely open, and I'm like, so how do you even fix that? Like, why is it saying duplicate? What? Oh, I don't get this. Right, this is gonna be like, I don't know if there's a way to fix this, or yeah. Yeah, the the brakes basically work like a throttle valve, like a throttle. Trying to think of like how to explain it, but like you know, like a whole curve, like a whole value, like I don't know how to say it. A float value, like you have a float value, a number 0 to 1. Well, not a whole number because it's not like 1 2 3, but like from 0 to 1, like a float value. It's from up, like up to down, and like there's not like a center for it. Like you'd have, so like a flight stick, like my right flight stick, up, down, and there's a center to it. So you basically have a plus value. And so things are set to where like push up, you have like value amount, and then pull down. It could be that oddly enough that this is set up as it has a center, it just doesn't have a like spring centered for its float values, but it has like a minus and then a plus with it, and it's not just like 0 to 1, like. But because of that, this game is like taking it just that way, and it's like, oh, there's this value up this way and then value down this way, and it's like you have to hold your foot then halfway to make it 0, which doesn't make sense. So like, how would I, like there's got to be a setting in this game to just take that out then. You know what? Just in case, I don't know. Keep saying to like want to save something on, but this is like a curve. Like I don't. I wonder if yeah, X and Y is set to those. Yeah, see, that's a general control. Like I need to just set. They call these like the same thing, like. Just in case, I'm gonna rename this to like Ursa R. I think this is how these things work. I didn't know like how all this profile stuff worked, so I'll do it like that. So I'm basically, my idea is I'm oh, that's what, oh, you know what? That is probably what I need. Basically just from, like, let's say this is 0, just 0 up. Let's see if this is what it, like, what I need. This changing, oh, it doesn't do anything when you do that. And of course this is the yaw thing. Okay. I'm gonna
Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees. Maintain full throttle.
I'm checking out something first.
You
So
should have kept the throttle at full power.
I'm figuring out some pedal stuff. Yeah, why is it acting like this? This is so weird. I really wish there's like a thing like DCS, because I don't know what's going on with that footness, but I noticed that in like the Cessna when I was like looking at it, and it's like I thought it was just a little like I guess when it's like fully up, it's like slightly down and then it like flips and goes back down. Like I thought it looked a little odd, but like I never questioned too much of it because like I was able to brake smoothly enough anyway, or worked with it. But like now I'm just questioning how this whole thing is set. Like I know it doesn't need a flip value, so like you think that would just be it. Because I do brake when I push it all the way down. It does brake for me. Let's restart and just see if that helps. But that is so strange.
Now it's time for something more wild and challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff. Not all runways are long, flat, and clear of debris. Let's try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. With the brakes applied, go ahead and increase power to full throttle. It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel, as you lose some steering control. Go ahead and set full throttle. Excellent. The engine instruments are all in the green. Now release the brakes and we'll get going. Rotate at 40 knots. Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees.
Set 15 degrees.
Now that we're safely off the ground, go ahead and retract the landing gear.
Should I have it on that button actually? Turned quite a bit the wrong way.
Maintain a 15 degrees, nose up attitude to hold a climbing airspeed of 68 knots.
Gears up for water landing.
Now retract the flaps to improve our climb rate.
For water landing. Gears up for
Great.
water landing.
Now keep on climbing straight ahead.
Gears up for water landing.
Here's the fun.
Gears up for water landing.
Why do you keep saying that to me?
Pretty good. Keep practicing and you'll nail short field takeoffs.
I kind of veered off the side. I wonder if that... I think the line there like was there from my last attempt. Yeah, the climb was terrible. Let me just like see that again. I think it did fix it actually for me. So now it makes me curious on jumping in the Cessna just to see. Is that like my previous?
Now it's time for something more
Let me see
wild and
something.
challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff.
I'm doing something a little silly
Not all
here.
runways are long. We weren't.
I'm doing that just to make another trail, just so I like see if it exists.
Now it's time
Yep,
for
it
something
does.
more wild
It
and
exists.
challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff.
Probably because it doesn't
Not all runways
reload
are
the
long,
area. It
flat,
just
and clear of debris. Let's try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. With the brakes applied, go ahead and increase power to full throttle. It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel, as you lose some steering control. Go ahead and set full throttle. Excellent. The engine instruments are all in the green. Now release the brakes and we'll get going. Rotate at 40 knots. Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees. Now that we're safely off the ground, go ahead and retract the landing gear. Keep holding the brakes.
holding the brake. Why hold the brakes?
Maintain a 15 degrees, nose up attitude to hold a climbing airspeed of 68 knots. Now retract the flaps to improve our climb rate. Great. Now keep on climbing straight ahead.
I'm
Pretty
somehow...
good. Keep practicing and you'll nail short field takeoffs.
Well, that's about it anyway with it. That's why I don't know if I get through like all the ones that I want to. 1% for climb. Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't care. Once again, I don't know what kind of like precision accuracy you guys want. Short field landing.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one. For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Okay. We do that in speed.
Short runways require an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway. Next, fully extend the flaps. Don't climb any higher. Go ahead and fully extend the flaps.
I didn't know I was climbing.
You got too high before landing.
Gears down for one.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
Just yeah, I'm gonna retry that. I'll see if like guy goes like it was cause like I don't know what set I don't know where exactly they want the throttle to be every time a mission starts. So my throttle is basically full there, and they're not saying what speed I need to be going at the moment, so I don't know.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway,
Well, I'm guessing
let's try
about
landing on
there.
one. For this short field landing,
I could do
the
like
terrain
that.
dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Yeah.
Short runways
Let's
require an
wa-
early
sometime
touchdown
watch
and
it.
full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway. Next, fully extend the flaps. Go ahead and fully extend the flaps.
Gears down for runway landing.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
Runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
Wait, she said 55.
Gears down for runway.
Don't go too slow. Aim for 55 knots.
Gears down for runway landing.
Aim close to the beginning of the runway so we have the longest roll possible, but be careful not to undershoot it.
Gears down for runway landing.
Cut the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing. You got too slow before landing. Once we touch down, apply the brakes.
Stop your
to bring us
complaints.
to a
I'm
stop.
gonna land.
Runway landing.
Don't make me
Gears down for runway.
crash this thing.
Gears down for runway landing. 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 Gears
Here,
down
we
for
landed.
runway landing.
You
Gears
nailed the
down for
landing.
runway landing.
The procedure is more challenging than at a larger airport, but being able to land on short and unimproved runways like this one opens up more possibilities for your adventures.
Gears down for runway landing.
That was an A, despite her complaints. Oh my goodness. I keep missing like what she's saying, so sorry if I want to like try this again. Here's on just to hear what she says on
Now that
something.
you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one. For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing
very
gear
hard
and get
to-
ready for our approach.
That's why I see this. Right. Oh, it goes like that.
Short runways require an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway.
Oh, full flash, yeah.
Next, fully extend the flaps.
Go down. Come on, flaps.
Gears down for runway landing.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
55 knots, okay.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
It's not saying like,
Gears down for
You-
runway landing.
there you go.
Down for runway landing.
Angle of attack is like 5 degrees apparently.
Runway landing.
The Cessna, it's like 3 degrees, but then like, which, you know what, I'll pause like here to show something. Like, you see this thing? The AOA. I'll tell the cow that if I have to pull this plane over, someone's yeah. As I was like thinking, like where people say like, yeah, like don't make me pull this vehicle over, and like as in the plane is like, let me just, I'll pull this over into the water or something, and basically like crash it. This thing. But every time I get into like the big perfect like glide slope that they have you like doing stuff. It's like it's always like down like here or so. It's not like this donut thing, which and this is what I learned in like DCS with like videos or so, and learning like how to like to properly do it like with a jet, like why these are built in the jets. Mainly because like their weight changes. Like they drop bombs and then like suddenly they just lost 1,000 pounds on them. So they can't go by just like a set speed and descent or so to know what's the proper like angle of attack. So they're like designed in the plane or in the jet, and so you basically angle yourself to the runway to like get your projection to the runway at a certain spot. Like basically you gotta do like by feel to you get your speed down and then you angle yourself enough until this gets to a donut, to this donut center, and then you just aim it then right to the runway. So it's like a little bit of feel around and stuff. So yeah, I was like just pausing that, and that's why I have active pause right here. So like I could like interact with all this stuff while I'm just like floating here, but
Gears down for runway landing.
here we go.
Gears down for runway landing.
Go a little faster.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
You did a bit high though.
Runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
A bit high.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears
This is
down for
a
runway
lot
landing.
worse.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
I'm landing
Watch
like
out.
Gears down for runway landing.
Don't go too slow. Aim for 55 knots.
Gears
we
down
already
Close to the
landed. What are you
beginning of the
talking?
runway, so we have the longest roll possible, but be careful not to undershoot it.
Oh,
Cut
it's
the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing.
for runway landing.
they
You
do.
got too slow before landing.
Gears down for runway landing.
Once we touch down, a flat
We already
line
landed.
to stop.
Gears down for runway landing.
You're a bit behind here.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
You know what? I think I could go back anyway. Because that was a retry. Yeah, see, I already had my A, so I kind of messed it up anyway. Like, because it's not saying anything of like where, like, how far like down do you need to be for it, and I don't know. It looks like it's like okay, yeah, it's got a lot of visual feel apparently. And that's the thing, like why I don't like where to be this very precise speed and do this and that, and it's like then if I don't get something else exactly right, something is veered off, and it's like realistically you do things by feel at a certain point. It's like be careful of the yeah, I think with me active pausing it like probably threw her off or something, or didn't get the scripting points accurately. But it was kind of hilarious. She's just like, watch out, you're going too slow. It's like, lady, we're on the ground already. It's like her mind was like extremely slow. But okay. Updrafts, like what? There's gonna actually be simulated updrafts. Which, is that all the stuff that's been making it so random and chaotic when I'm like trying to like fly the helicopters?
Mountain flying has its own set of hazards and requires its own set of specialized
The
skills.
throttle's off.
Mountainous terrain, especially at high altitude,
I feel like I need
often
it.
creates dangerous turbulence, even when conditions appear dead calm. Fly on the right-hand side of the valley ahead, maintaining 2,000 feet altitude and 100 knots airspeed. Air flows over mountains like water does over rocks, conforming to the topography both on the upside and the downside. Air forced up the side of a mountain by wind creates updrafts, often unpredictable ones. Let's ride this wave of rising air and soar along these ridges like eagles. With the wind out of our left-hand side, fly just above the right side edge of the valley to ride the updraft.
Well, basically we can like gain altitude by maintain. Well, good. Let me quickly restart because a lot of times I'm like missing what she's saying and by like thinking of other things. One thing I'm not happy about like this like throttle, like everything else is like really nice with the this stick that I have, like dual sticks basically. The only thing that kind of becomes a struggle sometimes, like especially if I have to hold a throttle 75% and then like hold it like for a long time, and if I want to like just relaxly like let go or something, and where I don't need to hold the throttle, and like let's say like I have it on like autopilot or something, this stick wants to float forward despite I tried putting the tension up really high on it to a point where I worry about like the thing's gonna like I'm gonna break it by putting up so much tension, but it just wants to like just float from its own weight. Like basically it just falls full throttle by its own weight unless I hold it. But then like I tire my hand out just holding it there. So that's kind of the little struggle with it. Like there's at least some tension that it's not like I'm just like holding my hand in the air kind of thing. It's just, yeah, the thing just, it is because like it's a dual stick kind of setup, like where it worked for like Star Citizen, where if I have like the spring on the thing, then it acts like a back and forth stick. But I took it off. To play this game, I took that spring out, like knowing that like I'm going to need a throttle to like push back and forth while I'm pressing some buttons and stuff. So yeah, to do that, the easy thing to convert, like, which is like kind of what, like it has like a little hatch on the bottom that to like take out and all that. It's just, it is kind of like a nuisance to like it's not like a simple thing to like switch back and forth on like games. So if I want to jump back on Star Citizen, I have to unscrew this thing out of my mount, open that hatch, use some hook thing to pull struggly pull the spring back into place. Which is not quite that easy to put it on and off. Which, by the way, is the game sound too loud or anything? I have noticed why before the sound was super loud is because I forgot that my other setting for when I'm in VR, the speaker sound was like twice as loud and stuff. Because when I'm in VR, it like the audio changes. Levels are perfect. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that was the issue before, is because whoops, I had that's why everyone was like I thought the game itself was oddly just playing loud in the broadcast thing, but it's because I forgot that audio setting was on that I had set. Which by the way, sorry that I don't have, like, I had previous streams where I had chat boxes or the chat appear from my stream. I've yet to figure to like set that up. Which also thanks for following and meeting. Yeah, that's what I was like wanting to mention is I don't have a lot of notifications or like pretty much anything like set up on this right at the moment, and I just don't know when I want to bother like figuring that out. And it's like it seems like a just complex thing with where the other thing, like I get why like the neat thing of like the Streamlabs broadcaster is that's already like in it, and you just toggle a setting on for it. But I don't know what it takes to like get it to work on this, and like okay. But yeah, all that to say that hopefully I'm not like breaking this throttle or the stick by I tried to, and to even change the tension is again just like to change the spring, I have to unscrew the whole thing off my mount to get to the little hatch, and then to screw little screws to tighten up the tension. And I'm not sure if I even want to like even try to tension it up even more, because I don't want to like break it. And I wonder if like having it too high, if that's going to like wear it out more, and then it's like then it's going to become even looser because it's been tightened too much. And well, it's not a game's weird controls. It's the stick itself. It's just like how it's designed or so. And I feel like they didn't make the tension be tense, very tense. Like it's just always seems it's a little. It's like loose enough or just floaty enough that it like can fall on its own weight, which is just sometimes a little annoying to deal with.
Mountain flying has its own set of hazards
Like-
and requires its own set of specialized skills.
Like there, I got it. So like
Mountainous terrain,
it is
especially at high
holding
altitude,
at like
often creates
75%.
dangerous turbulence, even
The
when
high
conditions
altitude.
appear dead calm. Fly on the right-hand side of the valley ahead, maintaining 2,000 feet altitude and 100 knots airspeed.
That's exactly
Air flows
why I
over
was
mountains
like,
like water does over rocks, conforming to the topography both on the upside and the downside. Air forced up the side of a mountain by wind creates updrafts, often unpredictable ones. Let's ride this wave of rising air and soar along these ridges like eagles. With the wind out of our left-hand side, fly just above the right side edge of the valley to ride the updraft.
Can I talk yet? So basically, that's why I restarted. It's like I wanted to hear what she was saying. Just speed up. But it sounded like saying like it's dangerous, but like, hey, let's fly like an eagle over it. Like as if like no worry. Oop, maintain.
Now that we're flying alongside the valley wall, you'll start to feel the aircraft want to gain altitude.
I was already
Maintaining
gaining
altitude
altitude.
needs a slightly lower pitch attitude than usual. We're now ridge soaring like an eagle. Turbulence often comes with updrafts, so prepare for the going to get a little
What
rough.
was that?
Try to stay in the rising air to get a good feel for it.
There's some weird shadowing there, or just I was in the shadow of the mountain there. Speed up time. This is like more than just 3 minutes. Oh, I lost quite a bit of altitude.
As we reach the gap in the mountain wall on our right side, the updraft will level off and then ramp up again when we reach the other side of the gap.
Nice. See how it easily pitches up. From the wind.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Keep missing like every word that she's like missing some of the words that she's saying, and it's like let's see, does it say like any more of it? Oh, just that. But I keep like missing what she's saying because like I'm like thinking of like saying something or distracted of something, and it's just keep messing up on that. What else I was bringing up because I was curious on. The only problem with like streaming at this time is like streaming over like when there's Game of Blood in the Clock Tower happening. But it does save like vlogs of it, so those were shadow trees, didn't you know the pine trees could fly? Oh yeah. I don't like when I like I didn't hear what something said, and I was like, I must know what did you say?
Mountain flying has its own set of hazards and requires its own
I'm gonna
set
try
of
to
specialized
focus on what she
skills.
says. So
Mountainous terrain, especially at high altitude, often creates dangerous turbulence, even when conditions appear dead calm. Fly on the right-hand side of the valley ahead, maintaining 2,000 feet altitude and 100 knots airspeed.
let me see. Is
Air
this
flows
have
over
like
mountains like water does over
Oh,
rock,
this does have
conforming to the
autopilot.
topography both on the upside and the downside. Air forced up the side of a mountain by wind creates updrafts, often unpredictable ones.
Because a thing that I do have on like toggle autopilot altitude hold. but like it doesn't seem to turn it on.
Let's
I'd
ride
like
this
it
wave
to
of
work
rising
as
air
a...
and soar along these ridges like eagles. With the wind out of our left-hand side, fly just above the right side edge of the valley to ride the updraft.
I'm distracted on like looking at all that I didn't keep with.
Now that we're flying alongside the valley wall, you'll start to feel the aircraft want to gain altitude. Maintaining altitude needs a slightly lower pitch attitude than usual. We're now ridge soaring like an eagle. Turbulence often comes with updrafts.
Funny
so
thing
prepare
is
for the
I
going to get
could
a little rough.
stable myself with
Try to stay in the rising air to get a good feel for it.
autopilot.
As we reach the gap in the mountain wall on our right side, the updraft will level off and then ramp up again when we reach the other side of the gap. Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Despite how... I thought I wish I could just see the whole transcript of like what they're saying, but I'm gonna move on because instead of being like paranoid of like if I did I miss any words that she's saying, I'm like I don't know, it's like how I am at times. Reduce it, so I see. Go to the other side where the wind's wrapping downward from it. We're gonna lose altitude.
You've seen how updrafts help with lift as you soar along a ridge. Aim for 2,000 feet, this time keeping over to the left side of the valley, putting us on the downwind side of the mountains. The opposite of an updraft is a downdraft, where air spills over a mountain or ridge and descends down this backside slope. Keep over to the left side, and you'll feel how you need to fight to maintain altitude.
Kind of already been.
You'll find it difficult to maintain altitude in a downdraft, so keep a high power setting and watch the altimeter and be ready to work the controls, especially the elevator. If it gets too much, make a gentle turn to the right towards the middle of the valley.
Why did I suddenly jump
This will
to
take you out of the downdraft.
really high? Am I crazy or did I just teleport upward? 'Cause that really is what it felt like.
Try to keep your speed at 100 knots.
Well, I was trying to lose altitude despite you saying that is a struggle to stay. Oh my goodness, now I'm like... oh my goodness, so what is going on? Weirdness is just happening. Nothing what you're like explaining. Now I'm not like speeding up, come on.
Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Yeah, I don't care.
Now that you've experienced a downdraft,
Oh, hey, Marvel.
you'll know how to react the next time you encounter one while flying in the mountains.
Yes, wind does things to your plane. It wants to drag you down, or sometimes it lifts you up. Thank you. Cheek squish. Jester squish. That's what we do. Next training. Yeah, water take off.
The X-Cup isn't limited to hard surfaces. We can
My brake
experience
doesn't
the
do
glorious
anything.
Alaskan landscape all the more with our water-going capabilities. To get started, let's look at a basic water takeoff. It's much more difficult to accelerate when in water, so you want to get as much lift as possible as quickly as you can. To reduce our takeoff run, use the second notch of flaps. Set the flaps to their second notch position.
Where's the flaps?
All right, we have the water rudder retracted and the gear is up. Go ahead and increase RPM lever to 100%. Now give it full throttle to get us moving. Use the rudder to aim for the gap between the island up ahead and the shoreline. Lift the nose just a little after 38 knots to get airborne.
Oh, we were already there.
That's it. Now reduce the flaps to their first notch position. Aim between the island and the shore.
I was in the wrong direction. Where are we
Now we can
going?
retract the flaps completely. Where are you going?
Yeah, where are we going? Like, I am confused. Where do you want me to go? And I'm... What is our flight path? Like... Oh, that way. What? You know, I think it was, like, all messed up because, like, from the start, I was, like, floating off for some reason. Oh, you know what? It's probably because my throttle was, like... You know, let's redo that. She even like said, "Where are you going?" I don't know. You didn't direct me where to go.
The X-Cup isn't limited to hard surfaces. We can experience the glorious Alaskan landscape all the more with our water-going capabilities. To get started, let's look at a basic water takeoff. It's much more difficult to accelerate when in water, so you want to get as much lift as possible as quickly as you can.
I'm just continuing on.
To reduce our takeoff run, use the second notch of flaps. Set the flaps to their second notch position.
which is that apparently. Which I don't know where the
All right.
thing
We
is
have
in
a water
here,
rudder
but
retracted and the gear is up. Go ahead and increase RPM lever to 100%. Now give it full throttle to get us moving. Use the rudder to aim for the gap between the island up ahead and the shoreline.
where's the island up ahead and the shoreline?
Lift the nose just a little after 38 knots to get airborne.
Well, you say that when I'm like already 60 knots. Well, apparently I turn
That's
right
it.
here.
Now reduce the flaps to their first notch position. Now we can retract the flaps completely.
Gears up for water landing.
Good. Keep us climbing straight ahead. Aiming for about 68 knots to get the best climb rate.
68 knots.
Fantastic. Once you nail water landings, you can really start to expand your horizons.
Oh, I saw the thing on the top left of my head is my flaps apparently. Because I moved them. Well, that was like extremely well done apparently. Now we get to land in some water. Try that. Which it's very easy. You don't need to like aim somewhere because it's like a big broad area to land in. Just land in. Unless it's like a little lake that you need to land into. Oh, exactly what they
Bush flying
are
brings a
making me
number of
do.
great do anything, go anywhere possibilities. We're going to land on the lake up ahead, so let's start getting ready. Bring the throttle all the way back to idle.
Very idle.
Maintain your attitude and let the speed drop below 70 knots. Great. Now extend the flaps to their first notch position.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Here's up the
Gears
road.
up for water landing.
I'm
Now extend
going
the flaps to their second notch position.
Gears up for water landing.
slow to 70 knots. I'm going 55 knots now.
Great. Now keep the power low and aim for 50 to 60 knots.
Gears up for water landing.
A little movement of the water is helpful as super calm conditions make it harder to judge our height.
Gears up for water
Now we
landing.
simply come in a lot like a runway landing, keeping our speed nice and low, and touching down with a minimum descent rate.
For water landing.
Aim for a nice smooth touchdown in the center of the lake.
Gears up for water landing.
Center of the lake.
Gears up for water landing.
Yeah, there's no like line up
For water landing.
runway of this.
Gears up for water landing.
Gotta not hit the trees.
For water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Well, the thing doesn't even show that
Gears up for water landing.
what the nose like
Gears
about.
up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Once on the water, the aircraft will slow hydrodynamically.
Gears up for
I see
water
that.
landing.
Whee.
Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
Yeah, this
Fantastic.
apparently is the
Water
flaps.
landings open up a ton of new possibilities.
Gears up for water landing.
I don't know why the thing has to keep repeating gears up like that. It's like I know. I can tell. How many more do we have? Oh, last one. Bush flying test. guess we're taking off from the lake and then landing in another spot.
Now that we've been through the basics, let's put your bush flying skills to the test. We're going to take a
Bush
short trip
flying.
through the mountains to Dogfish Bay. Get set up for a water takeoff.
I forget like what oh, flaps the 2 knot things.
Great, now get us airborne. You didn't get the airplane set up correctly for a water takeoff.
What? What more to... Is it because I didn't
Now
put
bring
it...
in the flaps and keep us climbing to an altitude of 1,500 feet.
I thought this was a test. Why are you like telling me what to do? I'm pulling too high or too steep. I'm like full throttle, by the way. I am turning left a lot for some reason. I bet. Oh. Did we not? We reached, yeah.
Maintain an altitude of 1,500 feet and head over to the valley up ahead. Keep an eye on your altitude. We want to stay at 1,500 feet.
I passed it because it's like, apparently I should have...
You didn't maintain 1,500 feet.
You know what, at this point I'm going to retry. I did so many things wrong already that I'm not happy with it. Apparently I gotta set the flaps to...
Now that we've been through the basics, let's put your bush flying skills to the test. We're going to take a short trip through the
Put that at
mountains to Dogfish Bay.
flaps 2 already.
Get set up for a water takeoff. Great, now get us airborne.
Oh my goodness. Waves just made me bounce there.
Now bring in the flaps and keep us climbing to an altitude of 1,500 feet.
It's kind of hard to read that sometimes, like...
Gears up for water landing. 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 Gears up for water landing.
Hard to read those.
Gears up for water
I'm
landing.
struggling to read the...
Gears up for water
what's
landing.
showing on this,
Gears
because
up for water landing.
the display is so far away on this one that, other than the other one.
Maintain an altitude of 1,500 feet and head over to the valley up ahead.
And apparently I'm going a little sideways because of wind or something. Oh, because my pedals weren't centered. I was, for some reason, awkwardly holding them a little to the right.
Turn to the right here and maneuver through the valley. The wind is now coming from our left, so decide which side of the valley to fly over to avoid downdrafts.
Well, if it's coming from the left, I'll go left. I go... Actually, you want to go on the right, because the wind gets blown up from the right. I turned a little earlier for that. I was thinking going... Yeah, if the wind's going to the left, it would push us up on the right side. We want to actually be on the right side. Speed up time a little bit here. Yeah, engine's built.
Dogfish Bay is just ahead. When bush flying, it is always wise to do a flyover of the landing site first to check the conditions of the strip. Start a gradual descent, and we'll fly past the runway to take a look.
Fly over there, like, well, are we like looking over there to see? What runway are we looking at?
The runway looks good to me.
All that. Wait. Going S view just to see. Yeah, see, I'm already like. They want me to like turn in there and apparently already be descending. It's like things that like I don't know exactly what you want me to do, but like if you wanted me to, if there's not like exact set pattern I need to follow, and you just say to land here, like, well, I'm going to find like what I assume the best way of doing that. But that
Deploy
requires...
the first stage of flaps. This landing will be on a short, grass runway. Lower the landing gear. Watch your speed. It's getting a little high. Extend the landing gear. You got too fast before landing. Finally, deploy the second notch of flaps and prepare for landing.
Gears down for runway landing.
I thought we do full flaps.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
Oh, it's like between those cone things.
Gears down for runway landing.
Keep flaps full for this landing.
Runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for
Sometimes I
You
wish
need to use
to...
full flaps for the short field landing.
I did have full flaps. What are you talking
Well
about?
done. Now you can proceed with confidence in your new abilities.
Gears down for runway.
You know what? I wonder if some of these are like bugged and they are like saying the wrong things. Because I got 100% 2 on it. Oh my goodness. And she was like saying that I did things wrong when I was exactly doing those things. So, because sometimes in the missions or so, it says like placeholder, where like okay, obviously the dialogue, it like messed up on having something to say there, and like it has just placeholder just just in case or something. And I was gonna say, something like when I'm landing, like a lot of times wonder on how much do I pitch up, and makes me want to like land in third person just to see that. But for that kind of score, like I want to see something on this, I guess. Like, I'm going to switch quickly to third person view to see something here. Because I'm curious, I'm just curious about something.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one. For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Apparently you could do it in like high
Short
speed.
runways require
Apparently.
an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway. Next, fully extend the flaps. Go ahead and fully extend the flaps.
Even though we're like going speed
Great.
in
Aim for an
Cessna.
approach speed of 55 knots.
With the other Cessna, like
For runway landing.
it got mad if you like did full like any flaps
Gears down for runway.
when you're like
Gears down for runway landing.
when you're going too
Gears down for
fast.
runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
So what I'm curious about,
Down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for runway landing.
Aim close to the beginning of the runway so we have the longest roll possible, but be careful not to undershoot it.
Gears down for runway landing.
Cut the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing. Once we touch down, apply the brakes to bring us to a stop.
Gears down for runway landing. Gears down for
okay, so
runway
like
landing. Gears down
I just
for runway
wanted to see that
You
basically.
nailed the landing. The procedure is more challenging than at a larger airport, but being able to land on short and unimproved runways like this one opens up more possibilities for your adventures.
I was wondering if I was any close to like hitting my tail onto the ground on the in those things during that. Yeah, about as good as like the other times. Okay, so I know like to do those, and then I like to like get through these to. Oh, interesting. I'll back out though. It's 12 minutes long though. Oh, launch training. There's a training to. Yeah, these. For some reason, these are like much longer. Which launch training? Oh, interesting. Which launch training advance? But because I don't need to worry about these in, at least right now in the career, and like this, there's only like two things. You know, someone, laughing, I know, mentioned on this is you wish that they have like more training things with airliners. The ones I could think of that makes sense to put in training videos, like the first Cessna you fly has it, even has it, is the autopilot systems. why don't they have training videos on how to just set the autopilot? Or do they think that would be that's just everyone just knows? But then again, like, not if someone like just starts in the game and never seen that before. But there's only 2 training things in it. What makes sense for me on why they do this is takeoff and landing is like most difficult thing, and you gotta like get a feel on how that is for a very big heavy thing. Now flying it in the air and just doing like the basic like navigation, you already did that with the Cessna. Like you already did all that the instrument training and stuff. Like all this stuff is already learned, and it's like it is pretty much applied on airliners too. So that's why there's not really anything new to learn how to fly with them. It's just the course would feel different. But yeah, I'll worry about the other things later. I just want to get to a few career things before I like really end the night here. And get like quick drink break. So big reason, like one of the reasons like I was doing all that is so now when I look at these things, now it's like you seem way more than ready. Instead of now like saying like, oh, you could use some more practice. Now it's like, yeah, you seem way more than ready. Multi-engine. But yeah. Oh, and this is like only 5,000. Like, so the idea is like I'm going to do some like of these plane things. So like I'll take this exam. The other ones I'll probably need I need to like do a few missions just to like build up some money to like take them. But pretty much open up to like take some search and rescues. That's why I'm doing this one specifically. Auto rudder assist. What did it say? I want to read what that's saying. Is it saying one of my assist things are turned on? But I want to do search and rescues. One at a specific, like South Africa area, or South America, I should say. The auto turned off for this certificate. And well, I have that off anyway, so. Oh, and I could just skip to taxi anyway. But I'll just do this stuff anyway. Where's the enter the thing? I am curious about. There's the door. Because you climb in.
As covered in our briefing, we'll be performing a standard traffic pattern around Miami's KLNA airport with the Cub Crafters X-Cub. Remember that taildraggers do not behave in the same way as tricycle-geared aircraft while taxiing, taking off, and landing. Try to maintain centerline and anticipate rear-wheel drift while turning on the taxiway. Keep your speed low while taxiing, and brake progressively while pitching back once you land to avoid flipping the aircraft over.
So,
Remember
brake
that once
gently.
you get some speed on the runway, you will want to lift the tail of the aircraft by gently pushing forward on the stick. Once you are on the main gear and reach rotation speed, start gently pitching back to take off. Keep your feet on the rudder to brace for left-turning tendencies.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters, November 210907 is
Why wasn't there a
taxiing to
training
runway
thing on this?
10.
What is this? That is an odd spot for the brake. What? Is this thing? Caution advisory. Okay. I don't know what that was all about. Stop and hold. Where am I going? Good thing I got third person view, so I don't have to like look to the side and stuff. I was gonna say, why don't they have like a training thing on doing just to get like the feel of a tail kind of plane like I'm doing. Can I get like that type of helicopter that supposedly those like supposed to be like very stable. But the one that like has like the big bar underneath, like it is a little easier to spin the thing. I think realistically you could like you would like put your head out on the side to like to see where you're going. And yeah, you don't want to. And it's good, like I got like the. I was saying, it's good that I got the brakes a little smooth. I do want to hop in a Cessna. That Cessna just to like look at something. To see how the brakes like act. I do wonder if pressing space. No, it does worse than. There was once an effort to make a stealth lifting jet. Those ornithopters. Oh, what do you mean? The helicopter that I was looking at over there? I don't even have like any power and I'm coasting here. Now let's take off.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters November 210907, taking off runway 10 departure to the west.
Oh, like a helicopter on a... Well, you could like fly them. I haven't figured out like how you even like control it, right? Like what key bindings even set to like control the things. But like there is ones that like have the helicopter things on like on the wings, and then you turn it into I'm sorry if this is cheating going in third person, but like it's so much easier when give me the ability to use the throttle levers. Yeah, this is going to be more interesting where I kind of veered off the runway a little bit, but worked out anyway. It's not cheating. Yeah, it is in the game, so it's like, and it's not like they're not doing any punishment that like, oh, you went in third person camera. Just obviously in real life you can't do that. And that's why like the little details like that is why like they would, to really get your license, they would like, I'm sure they would, no matter how many hours that you do in a simulator, they would need you to actually fly an aircraft to tell if you can like handle it. I realized I didn't even use any flaps, but didn't need them apparently. Guess I gotta announce.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters November 2109er 71 miles north 1,200 feet inbound to land runway 28.
I like how they show like guides for it. Guessing I want to slow down. No, it doesn't say it. They say it even. Then why is it in the bush training stuff they even bothered saying that? Like had me go to like full flaps when I'm like max speed basically.
Try to land by making contact with all three wheels at the same time.
I'm announcing. I'm pressing announcement. Come on.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters November 2109er is on final runway 28 to land.
It's hard to tell how you, like, so what angle do I need to be to get that desired all three wheels on the ground? Well, this runway has only two lights. That's harder to tell on what angle of attack you were in. See those lights on the left? What's that beeping? Can't stop too fast because you bounce the you bounce the nose to the ground, and did it like in DCS with the Mustang. Like that thing was so easy to just like jolt it like forward, and be hilarious. Me like didn't know. You know this is how planes take off.
Kilo Lima November Alpha Traffic Cub Crafters November 210907 is taxiing to parking.
The one thing it didn't like me doing is that silly, oh, you put your flaps down when you're going too fast. Like, how dare you? Oh, come on. Ah, went off the taxing thing. Probably going to score me on that. Man, it'd be hard to imagine I didn't pass this. I can, and also here's the thing, like if you think like the taxing's like too slow, speed up time. Goodness, even with this thing, like the throttle just being idle is like enough to like just have this coast along. This engine's like powerful enough that its coasting just pulls you. I think I had to like taxi a bit farther because I didn't want to stop myself too fast and break the prop in front of, like, do that whole issue. And it's nice to have left and right brake pedals because I can brake one wheel and then like helps me turn.
Great flying today. You've clearly shown that you have what it takes to fly taildraggers and did so like a pro.
What was that? Oh wow, flaps extend max speed. Oh, how terrible. Apparently in the bush training stuff, to even care about that. Respect the traffic pattern. I didn't do it in 2%. Congratulations, certified tail whale endorsement. So now I got these new aircrafts for missions. Let me see something in settings, like it says a certain thing. Yeah, I think this. Wait, no, that's helicopters. It said something like with the tail wheel assist, like turned off for this. Well, maybe it's just like the auto. Yeah, I think it's the auto rudder. I think that was like saying it was like off for this specific thing, which it already is off anyway for me. Well, and I could like get this as well. I might need this though. Like, I'll show specifically what I'm aiming for is. Oh, I was gonna say, oh no, it's like it's gone. Is this search and rescue? What do I need still for? Yeah, see, I got tail endorsement. That's what I was like getting for. Now I need to get like 6 more soft runway things. And then I figured like then I'll like get the training on like the other ones. Oh, which I just need to get instrument training, the instrument rating. Oh, and then I just need to land like another like smooth landing. And then I could do VIP stuff. And also I'm close to just doing that too. Oh, I just need to do 2 more skydiving things. Well, like have them be B or above. Yeah, it'd be nice to like get like the twin engine things and like other sorts of stuff. Just like I'm doing some like of the planes just so like I can expand the world out and to unlock things. And if I unlock around here, like this is like apparently hotspots for certain missions that I want to do. Or like a lot of the like career mission things, like apparently hotspots are like around here in 3 of the seasons. So it's like, yeah. And the closest thing to unlock that is like this right here. So, and yeah, this mission, and there's like another one somewhere around. I think it was, yeah, it was in here. These 2 missions are impossible because I gotta land in trees. Like, you see all these trees? Like, like I could just like mess with this for a moment here. Like, because, like, I remember, like, the one in Canada, certainly. What is going on with that helicopter? it's so excited to get out there. We must rescue these people. I shown these off like while I was like using VR. Not too bad to like look for them. Again, what is the helicopter doing? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, it crashed already. Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think you have more bugs. Your flight has ended because your aircraft has crashed. Well, sure. I can't click on it now, too. I'll force close it then. Good thing that wasn't my company helicopter. Like, I don't have insurance to like get it back, and like that's the big reason like why I'm like I didn't mind it. Like, it was the first thing to buy and it was like pretty cheap, so like I don't mind like taking the risk on. Like, it's the thing that like, hey, if I fly it just well enough and all, it's not gonna be a problem. Like I could, like I wonder on switching the insurance higher, but then it's like half the. It's almost like half the amount that I'll get on missions would be paying for it. I don't know. Like it depends. But yeah, what I was trying to say is in the Canada one is like certainly, I've tried that like already like 2 times or a few times. And then seriously? You know what? Whatever. It counted as I actually lost that mission. Even though you clearly saw that the helicopter completely bounced around. I'm catching up like what you said, Bravio, like who needs to make TikTok of third person takeoff with a drone behind. Oh yeah, third person takeoff. The third person view. It'd be hilarious me like, did you know this is how planes take off? Yeah. But yeah, so because of a bug, I failed the mission and lost reputation. Thanks. Thanks, game. Probably would have completed it anyway. On how you tend to... Is it even like there again? No, it's not. Great, now it's gone again. Great. I was curious, like, I couldn't remember if that one is like an unbeatable thing, because I certainly remember this one not. Like, I'm not gonna bother with trying that one. But yeah, didn't lose any money, but I lost a bunch of reputation apparently. Oh, that's right. Like, I'm also very curious about something here. Or I'm just gonna jump in free flight. I was like looking at that apparently. Just go to a Cessna. Ooh, what is this thing? Interesting big plane there. Here's the basic Cessna. You. I just want to go to just whatever, like, random fly now. I just want to, like, be on the ground to look at my brakes. It's simply all I'm wanting to do. But yeah, it's once again like it's game is always so supportive. You failed, thanks game. Yeah.
Ahmedabad Tower Cessna Victor Tango. Mike Romeo ready at runway. 2 trees straight out departure.
Yeah, see, why does it do that? Like, I go halfway. Why is the brakes like that? Like, that how they're animated, or it's why, like DCS, I would like a visual indicator, like HUD, of what is the values doing to, like, with the plane or so. Like in DCS, it has a line, and it like it would show when you apply the brakes, like how much of brake you are doing, if that makes sense. And how that looks does not make sense. Like, let me look at, which I was going to like set this back, but like, let me put it to 0 and then see if that even looks like it does anything different. Yeah, it does the same thing. That makes no sense. What is that doing? I don't know. It was like just a little curiosity. Yeah, I know that thing is on. Oh, that's my lights. Not gonna take off. I'm just curious about my brakes. Okay, so it is kind of like doing just very weird. Is it because it like, oh, because I see. It is interesting. Let me see something. Is it because of that parking brake? It just acts like that? Like, so when the parking brake's on, then it's like it's swapping to on like, oh wait, I gotta be fully braked. Oh no, but this is so it's like going back and forth. Let me see something by putting that back to 1. The parking brake's off. Maybe that's all it was. I don't know. That is so. Is this really making like half of? Yeah, that is more smoother. All more of a value smoothness. This game is so confusing sometimes on like how even things work. So it is like you do want that like set like that. Because this gives like the most out of it. Which doesn't then make sense with the aquatic one that I was flying. If I could like grab the same thing and just plop to that. Because now I gotta see something with that. Where is it? Where is the plane? Basically, it's like the Cessna, but like it had, well, not the Cessna, like, oh, is that it? Yeah, it's like that, but with those things on the bottom. Let me see if this is... Why am I pointing that way?
Ahmedabad Tower, De Havilland, Victor Tango.
Okay, this
Golf
is
X-ray,
much
ready for
different. This
departing
is not
straight
gonna...
out of runway 2 tree.
Where's this parking brake? Clicking it, but I don't see where it is. Oh, there's the parking brake. Okay, on, off. Okay, it's correct on this. Oh, high plane. So that's not the same one. Where is it then? I don't know what it's exactly called. Look at that. I don't feel like going into the train. Probably will have to if I just want to see that curiosity. Basically want to just see this, like, was I just mistaken or something? Like, what was going on here?
Now it's time for something more wild and challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff. Not all runways are long, flat, and clear of
Why does
debris.
it act like
Let's
that?
try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. With the brakes applied, go ahead and increase power to full throttle. It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel, as you
Okay,
lose
it
some
does
steering
have a
control.
sort of parking brake that
Go
I
ahead and set
I
full
think
throttle.
now is off.
This runway is shorter than one you'd find at a larger airport, so we need to modify the takeoff technique to get off the ground and climb as quickly as possible. First,
Okay.
apply the brakes and hold them so that we don't roll forward until we're ready to go. Excellent. The engine instruments are all in the green. Now release the brakes and we'll get going. Rotate at 40 knots.
It's pretty short.
Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees.
Smoothly, I
Now that
like
we're
it.
safely off the ground, go ahead and retract the landing gear. Keep
Landing
holding
gear.
the brakes. Maintain a 15 degrees, nose up attitude to hold a climbing airspeed of 68 knots. Now retract the flaps to improve our climb rate.
I already
Great.
did.
Now keep on climbing straight ahead.
Gears up for water landing. Gears
Great.
up for water
That's the short field takeoff in a nutshell.
Gears up for water landing.
And that was it. Such a short lesson. So yeah, I don't know why I was just decline as always. Oh, I got an A. I forget if I just had it on B. But no matter. Okay. Enough messing about. I want to, I guess, like, just see if do one mission here. Which sadly now I'm ranked B until I do things perfect enough to get back to A. Okay. Like one thing like I could do to take the risk off if I just, which there's things that I feel like just testing, but it's like it's such a risk. Like then I have to like wait until I get 100,000s or so of credentials to buy something again. Like look at this, buy craft, like used craft. Like 170,000, like 300,000. Like Cessnas are like 200. Like this one's just this. Like, oh, he says it's all good. Does it cost me to like have him check those things? I wonder if this changes like daily or something. And what's interesting is I looked in at like brand new and just look at this, like, and then you got like Cessna like nearly 400,000. Like, why not just get brand new? Oh, here. A little more expensive, okay. Oh, you get big wheel. Interesting. Wish I could get this, but wait, what's the option? Like, so yeah, it's like if you lose the first thing, then it's like you miss out. So ideally, oh, let me look at it again. What was it? So the cheapest, like, for me to rebuy the thing would be 170,000, 2,000, which isn't too bad to reach it on, like, you just do quick missions. These are all good and then new. Oh, it already shows like Terrell and what? Oh, so this is how you can like really look at. Okay. Yeah, it's sadly I didn't like this whole I didn't get into like any career stuff yet. other than starting to get in something. Yeah, the search and rescues perform landings with an airplane on soft runways or bush. So I need to find like basically 4 more that are like simple flight that happens to be what is this like is there a way to tell if this is a bush or kind of looks like it. I'll just do this one quickly. I'm not going to get much money, but like I'm wanting to get it so where I can start the search and rescues with the airplanes. Well, and we're specifically get that South America location started because that seems to be like hotspot. So I don't care if I even skip things.
This may be just another day at the office for you, Captain, but for everyone here, it's a special occasion. Your guest
So
today
this
is
is
John.
grass.
He's got his granddaughter with him.
Where are
They're
you in
good
the
friends of
ground?
the club members, and they're living nearby, so it's a bit special to take them with you. Seatbelt fastened? Then you're all set. Let's do it.
Okay then. Let me see, is it like still get you mad like if you don't announce? Okay, apparently not.
7 Foxtrot Alpha Tree Traffic Cessna, November 779er Tree 1, taking off runway 10 departure to the east.
Where's the runway down that way or which way's runway 10? Okay, this way. Just in case, turn the lights on. Apparently they're already on.
Hey, this is something else.
Oh yeah, it's something else. Yeah. I did all those trainings, now I have like idea what they want you to. Oh my goodness, wind. 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 is like get over there, which I'm going to do that. Not even going to bother with like the speed up time and using my go about that speed. I need to like gain some altitude, so I'm gonna put up power and there we go. I don't need to worry about how well I do this one. Apparently I'm fighting a lot of wind. I don't know why I'm fighting so much wind. This crazy wind. I don't need you on. What were you like wanting to get on? What are you looking at? Ooh. I had to like do that just to, oh, and now I'm going too fast. Ah. I'm just doing this just to quickly get
Back
this
to
done.
the airport already, guys? So, John, you want to fly again?
Great flight over my beloved Port LaBelle. Let's do it again.
Quite an experience. I recommend it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to get like very little money out of it, but like the goal is to get the certification of landing on grass apparently, which I don't see it any different than landing on runway. Speed up this though a little bit. I don't care how well I follow the pattern stuff. I just want to get down here. Even though I'm doing like over 30 degrees turn, which 30-degree bank that they don't like you doing that very well much. But I've learned that 65
500.
is about the speed. I was going like 50 or something with. So apparently it's 65 for this. But then, like I said earlier, like speed really isn't that mattering. Oh, I got an ounce. Or I think I spotted that. We need to do that quickly before it.
7 Foxtrot Alpha Tree Traffic Cessna, November
Tree.
779er Tree 1, is on final runway 10 to land.
Let's get over those trees. We are going a little slow. Which now it doesn't like quite matter.
Oh, that gave me some serious chills.
What, did I like not land very smooth for you? I'll stop. That's right, I gotta like go around here, but probably gonna get mad once I, yep. Because I don't know how you turn around on that.
Cool to see your own region from a new perspective. Looks like they enjoyed it. That was a great flight seeing session. Cool?
I don't know how I parked like there, but okay. At least got an A still on it. I think at least want to get like above 50% landing smooth. I was going a little too slow, and that's why I dropped down too much. Yeah, see, not a lot. Nice big beard there. Barely touched my bonus up. Oh, did I? Curious about something. Did I? No weather bonus, okay. I got still some like no skip bonuses, but like I was skipping quite a bit. But that's, I think it's like how much of like not skipping that you do. So let's see, did that add to, yeah, see now 5 form landings with an airplane on soft. Yeah. So I just need to do like 5 more of those. Reappear like one of, so you guys see like where they're going, and then like yeah, see that's on a runway. See if like any of these skydiving things, I don't do like kind of 2 things at once, like wish it like there was like indication or like ways of filtering on kind of runways you want. What I'm curious is what about But basically, like all the time I have, like I would have to like worry about tomorrow and more of this stuff. Maybe I'll just get through the rest of the training things. Just so like I get them all done and it's like then at least have those to show like all being done. Yeah. And it's going to just be like a matter of just looking for a run mission, like 5 more missions to land on grass, basically. Fast travel. I wonder if that takes into account how much money you wire if you take missions that are farther away from you. And so me going back and forth on the map, if that's like worse. This is another grass one. Right there I could like do. Yeah. Oh, interesting, they have the cars like being shown moving. Oh, I got like one right there. Like, I really am pushing the time. I wanted to like just end here, so I'm going to just end it now before I distract myself and not get sleep. And I really need to do that, so. Shall I raid then? Things. What? Raid Thomas though, I saw it was like playing new Indiana Jones game. And he got like a little special early access thing. I think it's like going to come out like tomorrow, so.
That one went. There it goes. Okay.
There's a moment of hearing his voice. He's doing certain. I don't know if he's doing like a charity or something. It's always nice on like doing like certain charities. You just sometimes can be careful on like what is the charity's money going to on certain charities. If it's not something that's just like trying to help actually what's it called? Help like assist someone or help someone's well-being. I can't think of like explaining more on it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to, I'll shout him out first. I don't know if he's gonna like end or so. Oh, I think he's like looks like he's doing like Christmas kind of like donation thing. Oh, for like Starlight. Like children's hospital thing or so. So yeah, it's probably a good like, but can be something to like look into at times. Yeah. And there's some charities I would say, especially a follower of God and stuff, is not, would not be like things to like put money to when it's like actually going like against God. Like best way I can like explain it without like going into like full on details and stuff. And but yeah, I'm gonna just raid out. I first like shout them out so you can like, just in case you don't like, I always do it just like in case someone doesn't like get put in the raid and stuff. There's times like I've been like streamers raiding and stuff, and it's like, oh, stream ended, and just like I didn't even join in that. Like even though I was like there the whole time, or like for the whole like setting up the raid and then like raiding out, and it and it's like it just Twitch for some reason didn't put me in. But yeah, take care. God bless. Well, I guess this is like interesting and enjoyable. Like I see about streaming it when I do play it. It is a easy game to also just like stream, or to play it casually and not worry about like, or not like be just streaming it and then thinking of talking half of it. But anyway, it'd be like how I might stream and I might not. But take care. God bless. Have a good Sunday also. Bye bye.